Let's get our cameras correctly. If we can see what's going on here. Randy's Guitar Attic on a Wednesday afternoon, and we are in here. Just kind of goofing off as always on our Wednesday live stream. So we'll wait for some people to tune in here. We'll just kind of goof off. So somebody has walked into the room here. So I guess we will start talking about some things going on and all that other fun stuff. So anyways, one person, hi, who, I don't know who's out there, but hi, it's nice to see you. Thanks for popping into the channel. Now we got two people, woo, two. All right, welcome you guys to the channel once again on this Wednesday afternoon. As I said, oh, it's Steph. What's happening? So anyways, we are gonna talk about a couple things here. No, you did not forget. Good job. I'm glad somebody remembered. We're going to talk about a couple things here. So one thing we're going to talk about too, I just got back, I did Epic Universe. So if you don't know what Epic Universe is, it's in Universal Studios in Orlando, new theme park. Did that once again, my second time. Great time. Great. If you're coming to the Orlando area or Florida area and you want to go check out a really cool theme park, that is one to go check out. Hard case with it. Yeah, okay. I need to put these on. Oh, I got much cooler ones than I did last time. I don't have my Garth glasses on this time. Party on, Garth. Yeah, you know, I released a short from the last live stream that I did, and I had my Garth glasses on that I use back out on the bench when I work on guitars. And several people, it was funny, you look like Garth. Thanks, I appreciate that. I want to look like an iconic 80s character from a spoof of a movie. But no, so I was talking about the Epic Universe. I want to make sure you guys know about this park that opened up, and I want you to go to it. If you are coming to the Orlando area, definitely go check it out. But today we're going to talk about some other things like what is this guitar that I am playing? Anybody know what this is? Has anybody ever seen these? These are kind of a rare guitar, and this guitar is kind of a rare one in itself. This was actually owned by a buddy of mine, this guy Brad, who played in a band called Messenger in the 80s. They actually they had a record deal and stuff like that, but he also went on to play with a band called Melanie. Remember, I've got a brand new roller skate or something like that, and what was the other? My Mercedes Benz or something like that. I don't know. But she did or no, my friends break torches. I don't remember, but she did a couple songs. No, I think that was actually, she did the Brand New Roller Skates. That's right. She did Brand New Roller Skates, but she did that back in the 70s. He played with her. He also played with Dr. Hook and the Medicine Company. Remember those? That particular band that was back 60s, 70s, I don't know. Who knows? But he played with them. So this was one of his early models that he had. And this was what he played on stage for a while. And 5 main people are the ones asking about, said you had something. I didn't get all of that. Just, I don't know, if you can text that again really quick, but only the main question you have for me, I'll try to get to it. But anyway, so, yeah, this guitar, this was one of the guitars that he used, and him and another guy by the name of Eric Clapton were the only ones that had signature models, I believe. And this was one of his. This is a Strings and Things custom. They were made in Memphis, Tennessee. Boutique guitar, cool down, side, wait a minute, flavor, yes. Show some pedals. Oh, show some pedals. All right. Yes, you did tell me to show you some pedals. How about this? We'll do this. We're not gonna pull a bunch of pedals up because that would be a thing, but we will walk over. You seeing all these pedals? Can you see them? Can you see them? I feel like that sound. There's some stuff in there. And that's just one case. I will come over here and we'll do this case here. You guys can see these. And we're down here. We'll look at all this stuff down here. So, how was that? Was that good enough? Was that showing you some pedals? All right, so we showed you some pedals. And anyways, so that was a pedal tour of some of the pedals. You wanted some pedals? There were some pedals. I don't do a whole lot of the demo thing of the pedals and stuff because I'd have to pull them out, set them all up, and do all this stuff. Maybe one time if there's a certain pedal you saw on there. Yes, I have a lot of pedals. Like me, like to hear. Course. What is over there? I'm trying to think. I don't know how many courses I have over there. Sorry, my nose is running now. I don't know. I just started this, but it is Florida, so we do have allergies here. Choruses. I'm trying to think what I have over there that has a chorus in it. I really have to go through everything, find out what is in there as far as chorus goes. But as far as choruses go, I'm still a big fan of the CE2. The Boss CE2 is a great chorus pedal. Yeah, I know I can't even set a chorus up over here because I don't have the power supply to run all that stuff over here. That's all on the other side of the room, and we'd have to go set up everything over there, and we're not doing that. But anyways, but CE2, I'm big fan of that CE2. Yeah, the CE2, the original Roland, chorus is also a great chorus. Yes, we'll try to do that. Next time I'll try to make sure I bring a line that is over here and I can hook it up through the rig over here on this side of the room. So. Here's a chorus. that was chorus there. That's kind of, this is just, I'm running this little Spark amp. That chorus is not bad. I can't say it's bad, good or bad. It's okay. It would pass for, if I was doing a gig, I would be fine with that chorus. Perfectly fine. Why is that? You know, a lot of people will talk about it. I'm going to talk about this real quick about it because I do go in tangents with all these different things. We'll talk about pedals real quick and chords. So a lot of times when you're playing on a gig, and say I'm doing, well, just say that I was doing the Tom Petty, John Mayer thing. And I add that chord. Okay, so that chorus would be fine for me. I would have no problem playing with that. But some people, when they watch a band and stuff, or most people, when they watch a band, they could care less what we're playing. Exactly, it is Free Falling. I'm just doing the John Mayer version. But they could care less what your sound is. Your audience pretty much doesn't care. The only people that really care about your sound when you're playing in a place is another guitar player. And he might sit there and nitpick everything you do. You're probably not going to do anything he likes anyway. So a lot of people get wrapped up into all these different tones that you're doing, and really nobody cares. That's the bad thing about it. Also, here, this is the other thing. See this? This is I think it's a Switchcraft cable. Okay, this is like a $30 cable. If you're one of those guys that goes out and buys Mogami cables or any other boutique cable because it gives you an extra 2% cleanness, and you're playing live with those cables, why? Explain to me why. Because when there's people at a club or even a concert, and you're playing these major shows, and everybody's screaming the whole time or making noise in the place, can you actually hear that 2%? No, you can't. So why waste your money on a $125, $150 cable that does the same thing as this $25 cable, but with just 2% more cleanness? Is it going to make that much difference when nobody cares? You're the only one. I mean, I have people that are just nuts over, they've got to have this and they got to have that because they're worried about them more than they are the audience. Now, I mean, with guitars, I'm that way. I mean, I like my certain guitars that I do like to play, but that's a personal thing. That's a one-on-one thing. It's my guitar. It's a one-on-one. I'm connecting to the guitar. Everybody is high as F anyway. It's like Urban Cowboy. Yep, exactly. Yep. The Urban Cowboy myth. Gotta have that big old truck. Gotta have those big tires and stuff. Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, so this is the most personal thing. This, I get it. I really do get this. If you connect to your guitar, this is it. This is a personal thing. I talked about that a lot, about guitars and you. These are very personal. You have to have a bond with this. With pedals, amps, and stuff, those can all be intertwined with each other. They might sound a little different with each one, and they might bring a different mojo out of you. They definitely will bring a different mojo. I mean, certain amps, I mean, if I'm playing like clean, sure. if I'm playing dirty. Yeah, I'm going to play differently with different amps. I'm going to play totally different with different amps and pedals as well. But to the core of it is this. This little piece of wood is the core. Thanks for calling. I'm not answering my phone. And if that's you, Steph, put the phone down. Anyways, but that's where, the core thing is, and you guys are going to hear my answer machine here in just a second. So get ready, all right? You're going to hear me. No, it was Steph. He's hung up. It's good. I know it was you. No, oh, it's not you. Wow, somebody hung up before. I figured it had to be you. Sorry for accusing you. Anyways, but yeah, this is a core. This is a core thing. Get yourself a good guitar and fall in love with it. Fall in love with one guitar, maybe two, and make those your bond. Make them the bond that you can't break. I mean, there's several guitars. I won't let go of them. They're mine forever. I think I talked about that once before about my red PRS that I'm definitely going to be buried with, or my ashes will go in. So, and that's one of those guitars. But anyways, one of the things I was going to talk about, my buddy Shane, you probably see him on In the Blues. Shane's from Australia. He's coming here a couple times, bought some guitars from us from Australia, and when he comes over to the States, he was talking about going to the blues jams. Now, I don't do blues jams. I don't get the whole thing playing for free. I'll bring it out one day. I have to find that guitar. I don't even know where that guitar is, Steph. That's terrible. It's like, I don't even know where the Martins are I have. But anyways, I was talking about, Shane did this thing about talking about doing blues jams. Does anybody out there do blues jams? Anybody, who's into the blues jam thing? Going to the blues jam on a Saturday, Sunday, whatever, Monday afternoon, night, whatever. I don't do those, but he says he does them, and it helps make him a better player. You know what? And the more I thought about that, I started thinking, you know what? He's probably right. For somebody that does not play at all, like me, I'm always gigging. Every week I'm out gigging, doing something. I've got 3 this week, and I'll get my chops during that. But he actually says, it's good for him because he'll get out and play a little bit looser. He's able to, make mistakes, which I make mistakes live anyways in these songs. I don't care. Who's judging me? Just the guitar player in the back of the room going, I can do that. But good afternoon, Brian. How are you? Good to see you. And anyways, so doing these jam sessions and stuff, I can see where, if you are a player that doesn't play out live, or you don't play that much out live, if you just want to keep your chops up, because if you just sit in your room and you're just going, whatever, it's sitting around, here's a little story I wrote about my one. Oh wait, wrong song. Don't worry, be happy. But anyways, so if you are not a pro player that plays all the time, and you really need to get your licks, your chops, whatever up, go out and do a jam session. Go play. you know, even if you're a pro player and you only play every now and then, like next month, I only have a couple gigs. And I started thinking about it. I said, you know what? That's only a couple gigs I'm doing next month. This is going to be a rough month. I mean, I don't know how I would do it, but because I have the Sarasota Guitar Show coming up the very first weekend of June. And then the very end of June, I have a wedding that I have to go attend. So I don't know if those 2 weeks I have in between these two events, if I'll have time to go do it, but I might. Playing that for dark hair you have. For non-blondes, yes, exactly. Just from one side of the head. No, that was Don't Worry, Be Happy, dude. Get your songs right. Oh boy. But, you know, so anyways, that's one of the things I was going to talk about. Also, too, I was thinking about this. Now, you guys may not like this. Probably a lot of you will not. I may open up to where the channel will have members only. All right? So these live streams I do here on Wednesdays may only go to members only. You'll have to sign up for my membership thing as well to do this. But Facebook has been hounding me, or not Facebook, but YouTube has been hounding me about this. It's like, you need to start making this a membership only because you've been doing these. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. So it's just a thought. I have not decided yet that if I'm going to do that or not, but I might have to. Yeah, I spend usually 45 minutes to an hour on here doing these for everybody. And we mainly do this, I mean, we do this like to get in touch with people and get to know more people on here. But we also do this to try to gain some subs, some more subscribers to the channel. And it usually does bring a few more subscribers to the channel. Each week we gain 1 or 2 more subscribers to the channel, which we want to make the channel grow. That's the whole thing. We want the channel to be more to the masses and stuff. So anyways, so like I said, we do have another guitar show coming up very soon. I know a lot of you guys watch these videos that I do put up, and a lot of them are about guitar shows, and you like to look at the stuff that we show at the shows. So just remember, when we do the shows, I am trapped to a booth. So I do have a lot of people that do comment and say, why didn't you show more guitars? Because I'm working. So I only get a certain amount of time to actually go out and check stuff out. So that's why. Anyways, so we talked about blues jams. We talked about, I got the guitar shows coming up, and that's some fun stuff. And I talked about the membership thing if I do that. Only reason I said about pedals was because you said you had so many. Yeah, so we do have quite a few. If you see that, I mean, you saw that we have a lot. So I hope you saw something in there you liked. I know I bet the chorus thing, and I will bring a cable over here so you can. Yes, it is a St. Blues. Yes. I'll bring a cable over it. I'll bring a couple pedals over here next time, and I'll hook some up. I don't know how they'll sound to this. That's really good. We'll see what happens. We don't know. It might sound really good to this. The Spark amps are actually a pretty good, wow, it's amazing how well I can see with glasses. But love them. I've got a Blues Master and Butterscotch. I'll play. I'll agree with you. This thing outplays any Fender I have in the shop. It plays phenomenal. I don't know what the radius on this is. probably 9.5. But yeah, it plays great. I was telling everybody this guitar belonged to a buddy of mine that played with Melanie and Dr. Hook, and he was in a band called Messenger that was on MTV back in the 80s. I think they won. MTV used to do a show like best of the little bands or some kind of thing, and they won that. And then they went on to do a record and stuff like that from MTV. So, super cool backstory. Oh yeah, I know this. It's almost a Lake Placid blue. Maybe a little lighter than Lake Placid, but really cool guitar. It sounds really good too. What is guy? Yeah, there's your ZZ Top or the. Yeah, probably. And you got there. Gotta have your pinch harmonics. So, anyways. This one doesn't actually do the pinch harmonics as well as my guitars do, but it does all right. Anyways. You know, it's kind of, a lot of people think that Billy Gibbons back in those days when he did like LaGrange thought, he was playing a Les Paul. He wasn't. He was actually playing a Strat. I found that like, a Strat? How the heck did he do that on a Strat? Huh, cool. Oh boy, the beautiful ninth chord. Anyways, anybody have any particular questions for today? What else? Jimi Hendrix. Oh God, really? Let's see what. Wow. Is that a USA, or this was actually a USA one? This one was made in Memphis, Tennessee. Bless their heart up there in Tennessee. Hot diggity dog. Yeah. This is a strings and things. That place was a really cool place back in the day. I remember going there one time early. Well, I guess it wasn't early because they were there for quite a long time. And it was just a regular shop. Then they merged in and they made it this like mall. They had like, you would go in like one room and it was guitars. And then you walk out of that and you go into a store, it was all just pianos. And you walk out of that, it's all banjos. You walk out of the other room, and then it's all PA stuff. it was really a neat place. That was like the first kind of big shop that I'd ever been in, you know, prior to Mars or Guitar Center or, you know, Sam Ash or anything, that actually had separate rooms for stuff. And it was, and like when I say separate rooms, it actually was kind of like a mall. They had a centerpiece in the middle. It was like a center area, you know, and you were in that part, and then they had little like areas. You go this way, you got the guitars. You go over here, you walk a few steps down, you go into this room, and then you've got, you know, the PA stuff. You walk down a little farther. Oh wow, it's all acoustic guitars. Walk down a little farther here. Oh wow, it's all pianos and stuff. It was pretty neat the way they actually designed that store back then. I don't think it's there anymore. I think it's gone. I'm pretty sure it is gone. My brother-in-law, Steve, would be able to tell me that. He hadn't talked about it in a while, so I don't believe it's still there. Because he lives in Memphis. Ahead of its time. Yes, it was way ahead of its time. It was a very cool place. And they did these guitars. These were made in shop. You know, back when guitar shops actually made their own guitars. I mean, there's still a few out there, but they're very few. Very, very few. You know, it was like Bill Nash actually contacted me yesterday asking me if I would carry his guitars again. And I'm on the fence of thinking about that. You know, I carry the LSL guitars now, and I don't know if Bill Nash is still in favor with everybody or not, or has he fallen out of favor? Because for a little while there were probably 3 or 4 dealers. I was the second dealer of his many years ago. But you know, he reached out to me and asked me if I was interested in carrying his guitars again. I don't know, maybe you guys out there watching, you can tell me whether you think I should carry his guitars again. C-Card did say, yeah, he did. I remember, yeah, Steve did. Yeah, he had a small shop and was making guitars back there as well. Yeah, I mean, like I said, there was still a few people that were still doing it. There was a place in Orlando, God, what was that guy's name? He was making guitars. Well, there's Star Guitars over there, Kip Elder. But Kip is not a store per se. He's more just a builder. But there was another place that was in Orlando. God, what was the name of that place? I do not. Awesome looking guitar. Yes, it is. A very cool little guitar. It is for sale, by the way. What guitar even is that? It's a St. Blues. It's a strings and things. What they call St. Blues. Now, they were called Strings and Things back then. Strings and Things Custom. And it's a Blues Master. Do you have a story behind your hair? You really want to know? Yeah, your buddy Kip, my buddy Kip too. Kip from the Kill. That's the very first time I ever met Kip, was when he was with the Kill. And I was an Einstein's attic at that time. So, okay, the hair. You want to know the story of the hair? All right, so the story of the hair was this. I was up in Vermont, and I was in the Army Reserves, and I was up on top of a mountain, and my tent that I was sleeping in got struck, and it hit this side of my head. My hair all turned blonde. Now, the story, that's the story I do tell people, and people don't know how to react to it. And I also do the terrible joke. I apologize to anybody that deals with this. I say I'm bipolar. So that's the other joke I use. Sometimes it goes over. Sometimes it lays really, really flat on the ground because it's a bad joke. But It is a joke because I don't envy anybody. Jekyll and Hyde hair, yeah. I don't envy anybody that deals with bipolar disorder. I know some people do have it, and sometimes it's all right, and sometimes it's not. I just tell those people that do have the bipolar disorder, please stay on your meds. Please. And don't become a boss of a store or something if you have bipolar disorder and you don't take your meds. You'll take it out on your employees, and then they'll be unhappy for the rest of their life. They'll probably quit. True story. True story. Anyways, no, the story of the hair, the story of the hair is actually this. If you have known me for anything, which you guys don't, but I have had my hair 2 colors pretty much my whole life, except for probably from age 14 on. My hair has been at least 2 different colors. It was blonde and black, just kind of all over the place because I surfed all the time. So my hair was frosted from the sun. Then as I went along and I started playing out more often, gotta take those things off. I decided that my hair was going to change, and I dyed my hair blonde and black. Much like, after me, I noticed that the guy in Kajagoogoo did that. What do you got here? Like an accent. Yeah. Yeah, wisdom. Definitely wisdom. But then I went blonde and black, and thank you. I appreciate it. I do appreciate saying stuff about my hair. I'm lucky to have hair at my age. But then it went blonde and black, and then I had it I went through every color there was. I had pink, I had purple, green, every color, blue, every color on top of my head, from here up. Rainbow, I actually had rainbow at one time. I had that color. And just to, because rainbow now gets a bad rap. Oh, really? He does it? Okay, cool. I'll send him a copyright form. I can remember going at it again 20 years ago. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks for coming in. So I had the hair of all the different colors. And like I said, I had rainbow at one time. And I know rainbow gets a bad rap. Anybody has rainbow hair now, you automatically say, oh, they're gay. But trust me, I'm not gay. I have a very beautiful wife. I've had people on here ask me if I was gay. Really, do I look gay? Really? Seriously? But not that is a bad thing. I always have to go back to that. I have to tell you, it's not a bad thing. I have some very close friends that are gay. And great people. Anyways, so the hair went that way. Then one day when everybody in the 90s, that was the 90s, yeah, it must have been the 90s, people started doing the same thing as me. They started copying me. And I said, it's getting too popular. I gotta change my hair. Gotta change my hair. So a friend of mine said, hey, why don't we go half and half? And I said, okay. And at that time it was half. It was straight down the middle. Now you can see it's kind of merged over this way. I like it better merged over. But we did straight down the middle, and it was bright red and black, which this is my normal color, by the way. This is my hair. I'm half Native American, so that black stuff comes out. That's why I have the high cheeks and all the other how. How to want my brotherhood. And also I make a funny joke about myself. I say, this side fights with this side. This side is always trying to scalp this side. The white man on the other side. So I went red. and my wife always liked my hair blonde because when I played with Einstein's Attic, my hair was all blonde except it was black underneath. I had the black going on underneath it. So she liked the blonde, so I went blonde, and now the black is on this side. And the other jokes I use on myself, about myself, because I joke about myself, is that I'll say two-tone braid would be. I've tried that actually. It actually, I had a friend of mine's daughter did the whole back of my head in a braid. It was like do 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 do. It was actually really cool looking, but boy, that hurt the back of my head. And I tell you, when I go to the Caribbean, oh boy, those people down there, they let me braid your hair, and we'd love to braid your hair. Give me $5. And I'm always like, no. So, but yeah, so the joke I make about myself and with people is I'll say, baby doll, don't stand on the side of me over here. Like I'll say over here, I said, please don't stand on this side of me, baby doll, because if you do, this is my wild side. And I don't want to brush up against you and make the powers come out. So please stand on this side of me, because it's a much tamer side and we're really normal on this side of our hair. It's just on this side of the hair, it's not so tame. Anybody get my impression there of who I was impersonating? Anybody? Baby doll. Somebody that had blonde hair back when he was alive. You know, he's not alive anymore. He's passed on and gone to the skies above, if you will. So I do that impersonation. Let's see, that is not a clue. Not a clue. All right. Man, I cannot believe nobody got my impersonation. It's actually a pretty good impersonation. Mike Tyson would be. I've got this tattoo. No, actually no. It was that's the role of the American dream, baby doll. You know what I'm saying? Going to Orlando Sports Stadium, gonna get funky like a monkey. As Dusty used to say. He used to always say, I'm getting funky like a monkey. What the hell kind of comment is that, Dusty? That was his big thing. So Dusty used to say a lot of stuff like that. Sounds more like whippering Mike Tyson. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm my bad impersonation of Dusty Rose. You know what? It's funny. I actually saw Mike Tyson fight back in the day. I saw him fight and George Foreman on the boat. They were both on the same fight. Greetings, Ray. Hello, how are you? Yes, it was Dusty Rose. Yes, it was Dusty Rose, the American Dream, baby doll, if you will. So, yeah, I actually saw Mike Tyson, and this is a great story. I sat at a Mike Tyson fight, and you guys will love this. I sat with Bill Walton, who used to play, I think he played with the Celtics. Sat next to him. Down in front of me, yes, I love wrestling. You want to talk wrestling, start with me, man. I would go all time wrestling with you. I'm a big mark. But, so I had Bill Walton here, and I had Ken Norton. Ken Norton was down here. So Ken Norton, fought Muhammad Ali back then. So Ken sat here, Bill Walton sat here, and Richie Sambora sat here. So I was sitting with these people talking to everybody, and we're all talking about the fight and all this stuff. And that was a pretty interesting story. I walked in with Bill Walton. I walked in with him, and me and him were sitting there talking and stuff. And we're talking about Robotron. So, so you got back into wrestling. Let's talk real quick wrestling and stuff, if you want to talk some wrestling. WWE, NXT, or AEW. And I want to wait for this response here. I want to find out which one of those three that, or NWA even, they're out there, MLW, they're all out there, all really good, good product. Yes, please. Yes, please. What? So anyway, so yeah, that was an interesting night. Sitting there, I haven't watched much NXT. Okay, that's fine. That's NXT, and yeah, it's okay. How about TNA? There's another one. TNA is another one that's out there. I used to go to the TNA events all the time. I mean, if you go back into the mid 2000s, you watch any of those old videos that they post, or actually on, I guess, on their website, or I guess it's on TNA.com, or it may even be on WWE. I don't know. Went through the Broken Hardy Boys. Yes. Yes. What's your favorite riff to play? This one. That's it. No, I don't know. That's a really good riff. I don't know. Whatever feels good, It's like, sometimes I just want to go. Bros became Game of Thrones. But so, yeah, it's kind of funny talking about people like wrestling. Are you playing anywhere on Sunday? Yes, I will be playing at a private event in Deltona. That's where I'll be with Occasional Astronauts. Tomorrow night I will be at the Kona Tiki Bar with Psychoustic. On Friday night, if you're in the Kissimmee area, please come on out to Old Town USA in Kissimmee. I will be out there with Occasional Astronauts from 7 to 11. We'll be out there. So that's my schedule for the weekend. So, but how'd you like? Nice hanging out. See you around. See you, Metal Man. Take care. Metal Man going out. He will still have a loincloth on. Yes. Yeah, it's talking about the loincloth. It's probably the last week I talked about the doing the nudist colony played out there. We're still talking about that gig. Can't wait to play back out there again. Yeah. Anyways, so the metal, I don't know who was asking about the wrestling stuff. I was going to say, if you haven't checked out AEW, please check out AEW. Darby Allin, who wrestles for AEW, just climbed Mount Everest. First wrestler to ever do that. He'll probably be the last one to ever do it as well. The guy's nuts. So I'm all into the AEW stuff. And TNA, Broken Matt Hardy. I love that stuff. He was great. It was unfortunate that when he joined AEW, it was during COVID, and he came in as Broken Matt Hardy. And unfortunately, it didn't go over because there was nobody there to watch him. That damn thing killed everything. But anyways, so. I hear that train a-coming. All right, so anyways, you guys, any last requests before I get out of here? Call you when it open. Okay, Jake the Snake was my favorite. Jake the Snake, I like Jake. Jake was a cool wrestler. I have a friend of mine that actually had a really bad experience with Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake was going to kill him. he was hanging out with him, and I guess Jake didn't like something he said, and Jake was going to kill him. So that was back, a long time ago. He probably did the wrong thing back in the day. Kayfabe means you stay in character all the time, and I guess he did the ultimate sin. Wrestling is fake. At least that was back in the day. That's what you didn't say. You didn't say wrestling is fake. And a friend of mine, Dale, who is a wrestler and wrestled as a demon in WCW and in TNA as well, and several other promotions. He says, we don't call it fake. It's scripted. Okay, it's scripted. A lot of people call it fake. It's scripted. They do know it's predetermined. They know what's going to happen, whatever. And sometimes they don't know. I guess he said sometimes you don't know until halfway through the match who's going to win or lose on some of these matches. So you could go into a match. Imagine this: you go into a match and you think you're going to win this match, and halfway through it they go, "Oh, by the way, you're taking the fall." I should do. I always say this: I should actually come out with one of these live streams and just talk wrestling for the whole thing. By the way, I say that I shouldn't do that because I actually did that. I actually was in radio for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years or whatever. I was a sportscaster, by the way, and all I did was talk sports. But every Thursday night we had Off the Top Rope, and it was nothing but wrestling for a whole hour. We did nothing but wrestling that night. And it was a lot of fun. That was back when you didn't know nothing. You couldn't figure out anything. Everything was, Slayer. It's funny. You talk about Slayer. Somebody posted on one of the Virgin cruise ships, one of their forums and stuff. They were talking about Slayer. Or not Slayer, they're talking about some, the Magics or something like that, which they are a beatbox a cappella group. And I said, do they do any Slayer? And somebody came back and said, no, but that would be a great idea. Because they actually do a couple rock, they do like Enter Sandman and something, stuff like that. But I mean, Slayer and Metallica are nothing the same anymore. They're nothing the same anymore. Back when Metallica played really hardcore music, before the Black Album, before, as most people say, they sold out. Bob Rock killed them. They were terrible after Bob Rock got in there and made them into a commercial success. They were terrible. They weren't the same as Injustice for All. Can you play any? Oh, really? Seriously, dude? Actually, you wanted a guy. I don't know if you guys see it back there. There is a picture. Where is it? Yeah, if you look back there, where is it? It's right between the Sunburst Les Paul over here, right there, that Les Paul, and that BB King. There's a picture of a guy by the name of Banner Thomas. Banner used to come in here all the time. God rest his soul. Banner was actually the guy that wrote Gator Country, Flirting with Disaster. Banner played on the first 2 or 3 albums with Molly Hatchet. He was a good customer of mine back before he passed away. And he was actually a really good guitar player. I was shocked. Banner came in here and, we talked about, his bass playing and stuff. Banner would always joke with me and stuff about, how wasn't making any money off his royalties until Sirius Radio happened. Once Sirius XM happened, all of a sudden his checks went up. prior to that, Molly Hatchet, those guys were making off the royalties. They were maybe making $100 a month off their royalties, maybe not even that. I mean, he told me one time he got a check for a whopping $7 for his royalties off. You know, these are off 3 major records that he was on. He was, you know, those were the records for Molly Hatchet. Those were the records, were the early records. And he wasn't making any money at all. And then Sirius Radio XM came about, and he goes, "You won't believe it. I got a check for $600. I went, "What? $600? You're kidding me." And at this time, Banner was actually playing, he might have been playing with Big Engine at the time. It was which is a band that is out of Jacksonville that they're more of a biker bass. They do Sturgis and you know, Bike Week here, Myrtle Beach and stuff like that. They'll I don't know if they travel as much as they used to, but they used to travel all around the country doing all the major biker events. And Banner was part of that band at one time. And I mean, they were a cover band. And I don't think they did any, I'm pretty sure they didn't do any Molly Hatchet. So they didn't do any of his songs that he wrote. But, so you know, Banner used to come in here. Actually, he's got, the picture I have of him on the wall is he's standing with these cabinets, these PV cabinets that I'm bringing you 10, 15 years. I don't know. Call me tomorrow. So Banner, you know, he played all these places and stuff, and Banner brought in these cabinets in the picture he's in, and the cabinets were the ones that he actually used when he played with Molly Hatchet. They were PV. PV gave them to him, and I don't need these anymore. I think they had gone to really small amps already. He had already moved into like a 410 cabinet with a you know, a head on top, and it wasn't a PV. I think it was a Gallagher or GK or something. It was something else, and because later on, I think Big Engine actually they were one of the early bands that actually went to pods only, the Line 6 pods. That's all they were using on stage. Banner might, yeah, I think Banner actually was part of that whole thing when they were doing that. So they were kind of one of the first bands I'd ever seen or heard of actually using Line 6 pods or any, you know, type of simulator, you know, amp simulator on a stage doing a major show. Because, I mean, playing in Sturgis, you play to a bunch of people. I mean, there's a bunch of people. I had to look at my clock. I had to see what time it was. Because we usually go to about 1 hour and then we get the heck out of here. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed the stories today. All that fun. I got done learning and practicing Cades theory. Well, good. Yeah, you got to learn all your relative keys and all your stuff to, you know, playing everything. That's I always tell people, learn your majors, your minors, and your alternative keys. You got to learn everything alternative to what you're doing. That way you can pretty much play anything on the fretboard. And learn your notes. Don't read tab. Learn your notes. Learn the notes of the fingerboard. Because this is not a 3. That's called a G. That's a G2. That's an A string, not a 0. Anyway, so yeah, if you want my opinion on how to play the guitar, just learn what I told you to do. You know, you can learn your Dorians and stuff like that, but just learn the fretboard, learn your majors, your minors, and your alternate keys, alternate keys. I'm thinking all my, wait, alternative. Anyways, kill me. Anyways, guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's fun time with Randy. And I hope I answered some of your questions if you asked me a question. And come on, baby. Give it to me. Anyways, so until next week, remember right here Wednesday afternoons, we'll do this right after 5 o'clock. We'll do the little fun time with me. Any fog hat? I just want to make love to you. There's another funny person. You talk about fog hat. Who else comes there? Oh, this guy named Brian Bassett. Brian Bassett is a guitar player for Foghat right now. Known him for many, many years. He comes in here every now and then. We see him. Great guy. I talk to him all the time on Facebook and stuff. And he does come in here as well when he's on. And Rodney O'Quinn is another one. Rodney played in several bands around the local circuit back in the day, and he's another one we know. Both are in Foghat. Rodney played in Pat Travers as well, I think. So, when you've been around the block as long as I have, you kind of run into people. And you're saying, you're name dropping. I'm name dropping, but they're people I know. So they're not name dropping, they're just people I know. Anyways, all right. So, anyways, I'm getting out of here. I got to go home. My wife is making me turkey burgers, and I'm going to go eat some turkey. And I'm dropping more weight as we go. Thanks, Randy, everyone. Peace. Yes. Mark, gas. You know what gas stands for? Not guitar acquisition syndrome, is it? Yes, it is guitar acquisition system. Syndrome. Whatever. That's what it is. I'm getting out of here. You guys have a great one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and become part of the channel if you have not already. Until next time, as I always say, so long from the Sunshine State. Peace out, brothers, as I know how to get out of here. I don't know. I'm old.